welcome to Chads by Christ, a show about Catholic lads living Catholic lives. I'm Shali.
You threw me for a curveball. I don't really know what to say. You changed up your spiel.
I know. It's because I'm aware that we have enough episodes now that people aren't going to start at episode 1 or 2. So we should tell them what the show is about. But who are you, by the way?
I'm Deshaun, sorry. I'm done. I've started a podcast from like middle.
Yeah. And
Oh, that's your point, right?
yeah, that's my point. Like, we
Yeah,
start
yeah,
podcasts
yeah.
in the middle of the podcast.
Yeah,
So they should get at least a little bit about what we're about.
yeah, fair enough.
Even though it's in the description, but reading is hard. Can confirm.
Yeah, I can't read.
Yeah. I wear glasses, so it's actually, I'm legally blind. Can't do it. But yeah, as mentioned, me and Desh are two youngish, mostly young, Catholic guys trying to figure out how to live good Catholic lives.
Yes.
But before we get crackerjacking, it's been a hot week since last episode. How you been?
Yeah, pretty good. Pretty good. What have I been up to? I'm really struggling to remember my weeks. You say we're young, but I feel like we're just getting older. Like I can't remember my week anymore.
Well, that's
Yeah.
why I said youngish.
Well,
Flow of
um,
time do be
last
getting to us.
Tuesday was pretty cool. Went down to St. Aloysius Catholic Church in Caulfield. So they do the Latin Mass there. It's for it's probably the primary Latin Mass parish in the Melbourne Archdiocese, I would say.
Yeah, and now
Um,
that the cathedral doesn't do it no more,
yeah, that they are,
yeah,
yeah, they're the spearhead people, I guess.
yeah.
Go to them. It's a very beautiful ceremony every time though. So yeah, definitely check it out. We can pop that in the episode description. But anyway, they have a young adults group there called Fortes and Fides. And yeah, last Tuesday, Charlie and I both went down, which is cool. They had a couple of different talks. The first was from a Benedictine monk slash priest, who gave us a bit of a insight into his life and monastic life, which was really cool. It's definitely a perspective that I think a lot of the attendees hadn't heard about before or were interested in. So that was really cool. And yeah, and then the second part of the talk was a little bit more somber. So it was the parish priest, Father Tathersall. He sort of gave us a bit of his insights into the cancellation of the Latin Mass at St. Patrick's. I think that had happened when we last had an episode, but yeah, still sad.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
been a while since. Yeah.
So yeah, had a bit of a discussion about that as well.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, my week's been pretty slow. I've been slacking in the gym. Like today's been the first day in like 3 weeks. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's slacking on the
yeah,
fitness front.
yeah. I mean, I kind of have to start up the fitness again because I bought running shoes.
Oh yeah, that's right.
I have to get
How's
my
it going?
money's worth now.
Yeah. How's it going?
So yeah, good. The shoes are good. The
Yeah.
running. It's cold.
Yeah.
It's so hard.
Yeah, it is.
But yeah, gotta do it. The dreaded 10K approacheth.
I need to get shoes as well, so maybe I should just take the plunge. Maybe
Yeah,
I'll do that this weekend.
yeah. Um.
Anyway, aside
Anyway,
from the running, how's your week been?
other than that, I've been slacking in all other fronts. I told
Nice.
you I bought Armored Core. Yeah, I told you about Armored Core last
Yeah.
episode, and so I've been
Yeah.
playing that a bit too much instead of doing things that I probably should be doing, like getting parts for my car service and adulthood sucks.
Yes, it does indeed.
But yeah, Dash, you mentioned the Fortes and Fides, the young adult group.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds like a good place to meet some like-minded people and
Mm.
make some friends. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, have you made any friends from Fortes?
Yeah, a couple. Um, some were familiar faces that I got a bit more comfortable with, because I was going to Caulfield before Fortis and Fetus. Some were new faces, that I've, yeah, now I can remember their names. That's when I can feel like I can somewhat call them friends. Remembering their name is a good front.
That's a good signal.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, I would say it's been a pretty good place to make friends and meet like-minded people.
Hmm.
Yeah, I feel like yeah. I mean, archdiocese is okay, but I feel like you can never have too little like of that sort of thing of like young like-minded young adults gathering together, especially when it's faith-centered. Like it's pretty hard to go wrong when it's truly faith-centered,
Yeah,
like
truly
centered on
faith centered is the critical
yeah,
bit.
yeah. That's the key. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, I'm gonna just derail us and possibly segue us into the topic with a weird question.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever, even like us just now, but just in general, whenever anyone talks about making friends, this talk of like minded people always comes up, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Is it possible? Do you think it's possible to be friends with people who aren't like minded? Because I've never heard anyone be like, ah, yeah, go out to people who like are not like you at all to make
In
friends.
what way? Like, are you
Ah,
specifically talking about things you like or about the faith, or are you just talking in general?
all of the above, but I guess we can laser focus on the faith for the purposes of the show.
I think it is possible to be friends with people that are inherently Catholic or like part of your faith.
Mm,
Um, there can be caveats, though, I guess, with those friendships. Um,
explain.
like, I was actually listening to a podcast a little bit earlier today. I don't know if you've heard of the Catholic Gentlemen. They're really good. Our friend
Oh
Joel
yeah.
put me onto them actually. I listened to an episode here or there with them. But yeah, they were basically talking about friendship, and sort of how do you make and sustain good friendships. And one of the things that they were talking about, you would consider it pretty obvious, but it's like looking for friends that are virtuous. So yeah, I was listening to that. I was finding it interesting. They were obviously talking at that from like the faith perspective. But I was thinking about how I think we might have talked about this last week, or maybe I was talking about this with someone else. But about being virtuous when you're not Catholic.
Oh yeah, I think I vaguely remember talking about something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it might have been us. But yeah, I was sort of thinking about that. I was just like along those lines. I was just like, yeah, I mean, I can think of people that I'm friends with that aren't inherently Catholic, but like they are virtuous. Like they're not. Trying to figure out how to phrase this. Like, I think it goes without saying that you should be friends with people that want to bring you up, not bring you down. Like lift you up, not bring you down.
Right.
Uh,
Yeah.
yeah. So I guess my rule of thumb is if someone is trying to take you away from the faith, then they're probably not a great friend. Like if they're like straight out just trying to bring you away from your faith, like your Catholic faith,
Mm.
then it's sort of like, hmm, like I know the truth, but this person is trying to tell me that I don't know the truth, right?
Right. Yeah.
Whereas it's not wrong at all. At least I don't perceive it to be wrong with people that are outside of the faith or of other faiths, mm, as long as they're not trying to bring you away from your own faith. And there's a lot of important factors with that. Um, like as Catholics, we do have a responsibility to evangelize as well. So wherever possible, we should try and do that. Um,
Mm.
that doesn't necessarily mean we force our faith on other people. Like we can't make someone, change their faith or be Catholic. We can, teach them about what we believe in and why we believe it's right, and like the Catholic values that we stand for. But you can't inherently make them follow those if they don't want to. You can't do that against their will.
Right. Yep.
So I guess to answer your question, you I believe you can be friends with people that aren't inherently like-minded, like if we're specifically talking about the faith.
Yep.
But you have to be very careful. First of all, they have to be people that they have to be friends that bring you up again, not bring you down.
Hmm.
And they have to be people that aren't trying, bring you away from your own faith. They have to, be comfortable with, what you believe in. And yeah, if they're open to listening to what you believe in as well, even better. That might be a potential conversion opportunity.
Hmm.
Yeah. What do you think?
I think mostly on the same lines.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I do think it's hard to be friends, like really deep friends with anyone, if you don't have any common ground.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't have to be the faith, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, but like you said, you can't hang out with people who are so far removed from you that uh, that's weird phrase. Like you're saying, we can't be friends with people who just aren't virtuous,
Mm.
even in the secular sense of the word.
Yep.
But I think there is a tension though. Like, so we have to go and evangelize people, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that means that we have to like drag our friends, like to be like mean about it, to use rough language. We have to drag our friends into our faith while not letting them drag us into theirs or their lack of faith. Is that
Mm-hmm.
is that right? Or am I
Sorry, can
misunderstanding?
you repeat that last part again?
So when we make friends with people who aren't like us, we have to be careful to not lose our faith, correct?
Mm-hmm.
But then we also have to evangelize them and in a way get them to change their mind about their faith or their lack of faith, if that
Mm-hmm.
makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Um so I'm wondering like what that feels like intuitively like a bit of a skewed dynamic, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Um I can't really explain it,
Right.
but like there's an unequalness there, and I don't know if that's just like modern culture and it's everything has to be equal emphasis that's playing on my mind here. But like I can't articulate this hang up properly. Like you'd think it goes both ways in a friendship, right? Like anything in a friendship you'd think goes both ways, yeah?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
If you like confide your life troubles, like it goes both ways, mostly, right? Like you trust each other, there's a equal dynamic of trust.
Yep.
You support each other, equal levels of support. And so when it comes to like this idea of exploring the deeper questions, isn't there also like a sort of equality that ought to exist in a friendship? Or am I overthinking things?
Equality.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Like as in like a give and take.
Yeah, give and take. Like,
Yeah. Agreed. Yeah.
because at the moment, like, what I'm getting hung up on is this idea that, like, we have to either, like, give our faith to them without taking their faith, or we take them into our faith without giving ourselves to them, right?
Mm-hmm.
So there's, like, a one sidedness in the dynamic,
Yep.
which, on a purely human level, just like my gut instinct is like, is that is that right? Is that how it's meant to be? Is that really a friendship? Oh, it might be. I don't know.
um, I don't know. For some reason, this is stumping me. Like, I agree with your premise that there should be an equality. Um,
Mm.
like, it should be give and take. And I feel like I don't know about you, but I find that is easier with my Catholic friends, than outside of those friendships. Not to say that like I don't see that in my other relationships with like people outside of the faith. But I don't know. I just see those values a lot more in like my Catholic friends, like forgiveness, um, and just general like generousness. You know what I mean?
Vaguely.
Like I
Um,
see those values more in my Catholic friends, and that makes it easier to maintain that give and take. Like it makes it easier to maintain that equality
right. So
because we're
you'd say
constantly
like,
looking out for each other's like best interests, and we've got God at the center as well. So It just makes it that much easier.
Mm-mm. Well, I suppose you're luckier than I am in that
Mm.
regard. Well, no, not that like Catholic friends have hurt me or anything like that, but
Oh, no, no, no. As in,
um,
I'm not saying that can't happen. I'm saying in my experience.
mm-mm.
As in, mostly I'm talking about the friends that I have now, not so much the friends in the past, because yeah, not everyone is like that either.
Yeah. I mean, let's not go into that. We can name names. We don't need to do that.
Mm-hmm.
They're not friends anymore, I'd say.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I'm still like hung up on
Wait, so
something.
can you go back to your point before? I'm still a little bit confused as to what you're confused about or like hung up on.
Okay, I think. Imagine I'm an atheist.
Mm-hmm.
We'll try and approach from this angle. Imagine I'm an atheist, right?
Right.
Um, and you're my Catholic friend, and you're constantly pestering me to like accept Jesus and come to church and uh, do this, that, and the other thing, whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
And on my end, like I'm probably just as a, that by nature of being an atheist, like I have an inherent resistance to that idea, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, let's say that our relationship is amiable enough and respectful enough that I can like push back and debate you, right? Aren't we sort of at like an impasse where neither of us are going to budge one way or the other?
Mm-hmm.
Um, and so I think like my question is speaking like just as myself, like if I were an atheist, like I'd probably be more inclined to hear my Catholic friend out if I got the sense that he was doing the same for me.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but like, how do we do that without compromising our faith and our values?
Mm-hmm. How
Because
do we compromise without compromising our faith and values?
yeah, yeah,
Well, I mean, you just don't go against your faith and values.
but
like,
yeah, but
like,
okay, yeah,
r- like, if you really want to go back to bare bones, Ten
mm,
Commandments.
yeah,
If you stick to those, you can't really go wrong.
yeah, right,
In there it is, love thy neighbor. No other gods before me.
mm,
Um, you've got things like adultery, like all that kind of stuff comes into it as well. I feel like when you talk
yeah,
about
yeah,
compromising your values and your faith.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
So yeah, that's one way. So the commandments,
mm,
um, just general church teaching and the catechism as well. Um, yeah, I mean, yeah, I feel like if you don't go outside of that, then you can't really go wrong. Like that give and take, like so to speak, can still be there, but it has to be within the confines of what you believe in and what you want to stand for. Like you
right,
can't do something outside of that, even though it might make you seem like a bad friend. As an example, like if someone wants you to come and participate in like a religious ceremony of their religion, that would be like something that's like a bit of a gray area. Like it's not really something you can partake in, and
yeah, yeah. So you can't
yeah.
do any like, oh, I'll go to yours if you go to mine, sort of business, right? Right?
This is where it gets tricky. As in, like, well, for example, a wedding. Like that's dicey, right? Because like, do you not go to the
Wait,
wedding?
you were talking about religious ceremonies, right? So it's like, what's like,
Yeah, yeah. That's why I specifically specified ceremony. I think if you have to partake in it, then it's like partake and like actively, interact with it. Then it's like a wedding is probably different. I'm thinking.
yeah, you've kind of talked
To
about something completely different here.
No, no,
You're
no. I
saying
said
you're saying like,
ceremonies.
yeah, well, when you say religious, I'm thinking like tarot cards or crap, stuff Bella was doing. Shout
That's
out
not a
Bella.
ceremony. That's
Yeah,
not a
but it's
ceremony,
religious.
though.
Well, it's quote unquote spiritual. Well, spiritual. That's what it is.
Well, yeah, but that's completely different to a ceremony.
Yes.
Like when I talk ceremony, I'm thinking of, for example, like a Hindu ceremony.
Okay.
Like when you like go to a Hindu ceremony, you have to like actually like actively participate in it.
Yeah. Like the religious observance.
Exactly. Whereas like
Yeah. You gotta like
my thinking is
clap your
like
hands
if you
and
go to like yeah, well,
do
yeah,
whatever.
yeah,
I
yeah,
don't know
yeah,
what you do in
yeah.
Hinduism.
Clap your
I'm sorry.
hands. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't know what they do at Hindu ceremonies. I've never been to a
Yeah.
yeah. I've never really been to one. I've been to like weddings before, and I think to my knowledge that's okay because you're not participating or showing any belief. You're just there to support your friend.
Yeah, as long as you don't actively do
Yeah,
religious observance, you
yeah.
should be
Actively do or
okay.
you know interact with anything of that sort, then you're
Yeah.
fine. And I think that goes for most religious ceremonies, although there are some that you should just not go to, like
Yeah.
rituals and the like. If you're
Yeah.
unsure, ask your
Priest.
spiritual director, priest, good friend that's like well versed.
Yeah, not us. Not me.
No,
Dash.
not
Don't
us.
ask me.
No, no, not me either. Ask an adult. We are
Yeah, ask an
25-year-old
actual
man
adult.
children.
uh, yeah, back in the good old days, men my age were wrangling bandits in
Yeah.
the Wild West. With the 6 shooters in their lassos. Anyway, um, yes, I'm like super sidetracked.
Anyway,
How did we get here? We were talking about
I think
friends.
your question was, can you be friends with someone without compromising your faith and values? And I think you can, but yeah, you have to. It's a very yeah, you have to be very careful with how you're giving and taking.
Okay, yeah. So you need to have enough of a backbone
Yeah,
to not compromise your values.
yeah. Like if you need to say no to something, and yeah, and unfortunately, that's the cusp of it.
Right.
Yeah.
It's a pretty easy. Well, I could accuse you of saying that that's a pretty. No, I'm phrasing this wrong.
Mhm.
Someone could say that that's a very easy way to end up all on your own, all alone, with no friends. What do you say to that?
So again, it's a well, I mean, if you have if your friends are asking you to do something that's compromising your values, then are they really your friends? Like it goes back to what I was saying before, right?
Hmm.
Like, wouldn't it be worth being alone over compromising your values?
Yeah, I'm introvert. Can confirm. Definitely.
Yeah. Like I think yeah, like if they're really your friends, regardless of what their beliefs are, if you are uncomfortable, they wouldn't force you into an uncomfortable situation.
Hmm. Hmm.
That's just the way I see it.
Yeah, no, that's valid, right? Like
Hmm.
I literally just said you gotta have a backbone, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Some people aren't gonna
Yeah.
respect that or you.
Hmm.
It's like, oh, okay, bye.
Well, yeah, and sometimes that do be what it do
Yeah,
be.
to be like that. But yeah, if like gotta gotta seek the kingdom of God first and all of that.
Mm-mm.
Um, but then
Mhm.
hang on, I've got the thoughts of a question, but not the words. Um,
Mhm.
but going on from all of that just now.
Mhm.
Also, time check me.
I think we're just on half an hour.
Just on okay, so
Yep, just on an hour.
okay, so kind of meandered a bit. And we're out of time. Didn't really answer the question. Well, what was the question? Shoot.
Should we
Well,
go back to the main question? Is it
yes.
okay to have non-Catholic friends?
Yeah, because that's what I wanted to like start poking at, right? Like if
Yeah.
like maybe this is an unfair assumption, right?
Mhm.
But non-Catholic friends are always going to exert a sort of pressure to go against my values as a Catholic, just by the nature of groupthink, for example, right? Or just like wanting to be like my friend, or
Yeah, yeah.
right.
Again, it really depends on the level of friendship that you have and like what they're asking you to do.
Correct, yeah. But like just as a general rule of thumb, right?
Yeah, yeah. Like,
Non-Catholics gonna exert non-Catholic pressure.
well, yeah, I guess the fact of the matter is they're not. I mean, they can be like they're not inherently leading you towards God and heaven. They can
Yeah,
be
right.
like by a manner of being virtuous.
Mm,
I think it's like I said, I think it's still possible to be inherently virtuous without being Catholic because some people just don't know.
yeah, yeah. Plenty of people
Like
are
that is
Catholic and not virtuous, so like the flip
yeah,
side is possible.
exactly. Yeah.
Um, so to tie it back to the original question, like if it's not okay to subject myself to that pressure to give up my faith or like to not that pressure to compromise,
hmm
is it okay to have non-Catholic friends if it seems unavoidable? Is it unavoidable?
I don't think
Probably
it's
isn't.
unavoidable, but you have to be very careful. I don't
Right.
think it's unavoidable though. Like, yeah.
Okay. So I suppose before anything else, you got to look for friends with the virtues, regardless of faith, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. So you start
The
with your
fact of the matter is, it's going to be pretty much impossible to have like everyone that you're in close proximity with. It's going to be pretty difficult to have everyone that you're in close proximity with to be Catholic.
yeah.
Like, you're going to
You
have
have
work colleagues,
yeah.
you're going to have school friends, you're going to uni, you're going to meet all sorts of people at uni.
Mm.
And you have to learn to mix and interact with these people. So you can't exclusively like I would argue that it's physically impossible to be like, I am only going to interact with Catholic people. It just won't work.
Yeah. Yeah. You could do what I do, which is interact with no people. That could it's an option. You,
I
your
mean,
your mileage may vary, but it's an option.
sure. Nah, I mean, you interact with everyone.
Everyone,
Everyone.
everyone,
Yeah,
especially Joe
everyone.
Biden, especially President Joe Biden,
Joe Mama.
especially President Joe Mama. He's not doing too well, poor guy.
I really hope they do something about him. He needs to be on a beach sipping a pina colada.
It's,
That's what he needs to
he
be
just
doing.
needs a break. Why? Why? Why are they
It's just
making him do
theatrics at this point. It's literally theatrics. It's
I
like
don't.
reality TV, but politics. Mm,
That's depressing. That's a whole other topic about leadership, but
yeah.
yeah, America's a funny place.
I mean, I mean, we're okay. I was gonna say we're not far better off. We're okay.
We are okay.
Petrol is exorbitantly high, but I don't think that's just us. I think that's everywhere.
I think that's everywhere.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, yeah, it's. I don't know really much about our politics.
Yeah, me either.
Our
We are getting
position either.
sidetracked again.
Yeah, we're out of
I
time.
think we are. I think we answered the question. The question is, can you have non-Catholic friends if they are virtuous? Yes, but you need to be very careful, um, especially with what they're asking from you, and even what you're asking from them. Like I said,
Yeah,
like you
yeah,
can't force anyone to do anything.
hmm
You can encourage. You can, um, you can impart your knowledge, but you can't force.
yeah.
Yeah.
Good rule of thumb is
Yeah.
just seek virtue.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, prudence, justice, temperance, fortitude.
Have we done an episode on the virtues?
We have not. We have mentioned them many times.
Yes. Maybe that's gonna be something we'll have to prep for, but it could be a good one.
Yeah,
I could also use a refresher on the virtues.
yeah. The three theological virtues are a bit harder to spot. Charity? Yeah, love, charity.
Mm,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's probably one you can look at. Like faith and hope are abstract. They're harder to spot in people, I reckon.
Yeah. Yeah. Because that's also like you can't judge what you see either. Like on the
Yes.
surface, like you can't judge on the surface level, so it's very difficult to yeah.
Yeah. Look for the first four: the prudence, justice, temperance, fortitude.
Yeah.
Because those ones you'll see them clear as day.
Exactly. Yeah.
And charity. Charity's obvious as well.
Yes.
You can see it.
Yes. Are we wrapping up at the 35-minute mark, or do we want to keep going a bit more?
35 minutes is good. Oh, I forget that like editing always makes it a bit shorter. There's not really anything more to say though, is there? Well, there's plenty more to
No,
say.
I mean, I think
but not really enough
no,
time
I
to
think
say it, is
I
there?
think we said it. I think we said it, like, to the best of our ability. Like, don't compromise your values, no matter who you're friends with.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and just
Yeah,
wherever
if
you
you
can, try and lead people towards God and interact with people that do the same. And they
yeah,
don't inherently need to be Catholic to do that. Hence, you want them to be virtuous.
yep,
Yeah.
yeah, that's a good rule of thumb. Pursue virtue in yourself and in others.
Mm-hmm.
Or this might be something for the hot takes episode that we might do eventually, maybe not.
Mm-hmm.
But I personally
Mm-hmm.
hold the opinion that virtue is more important than piety.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
So yeah, my fundamentalist pursue virtue. There you go.
Yeah. Honestly, I would agree with that. Yeah. To an
Uh,
extent.
yeah. That hot take of mine we can abandon or go into a later date.
Yeah. Yeah.
It is what it is. But yeah, I reckon that'll do us for this episode.
Alrighty.
So
Shall
we'll
we
get
go into
into
parent intentions?
yes, pair intentions.
Sure.
You wanna start us off?
Sure. I guess in keeping with today's episode, I pray that we're all able to maintain good friendships, friendships that lead us towards God, whether they be with someone that is Catholic or not. Yeah, and I pray that we pursue virtue in ourselves as well as in others, as Charlie said. Yeah, that's me.
I'll get the bog standard one. Conflicts throughout the world are still going, so pray for
Mhm.
an end to those. And I pray. I mean, Dash already like covered it, but yeah, I pray that we all pursue virtue. We all pursue. But I didn't even really mention this, but I pray that we all pursue honesty as well. I know I need to, so pray for me. But yeah, I think we'll leave it at that.
Mhm.
So hopefully you guys got something out of this one. If you liked what you heard, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, rate. Tell your friends. Do that. Don't worry
Please,
about the other
we're
stuff.
begging you.
Please. We need numbers. We don't need the
Um,
numbers, but we're making this for people to hear it. So like, we want people to hear it. Tell your friends.
Exactly.
Tell your family. Tell whoever.
Tell Joe Biden if you see him.
Yeah, if you happen to run into him, yeah, just
Yeah,
slip him a
why
little
not,
note.
right?
Yeah. But yeah. Again, thanks for listening. Hope you enjoyed it, and we hope to catch you in the next one. God bless.
God bless, guys. See ya.